So apparently I'm currently 4 books behind on my reading challenge. It's not looking good, so we're locking in October, and instead of doing a weekly reading vlog, I'm going to do 2 weeks, and I'm going to try to read as many of them as possible, specifically fall reads. So horror, mystery, thriller, as many of them as possible. I will say it's not looking good. I'm not in a reading slump. No. But I just put down The Eyes of the Best Part. In my defense, it takes a while. It's supposed to be horror. Right now it's very like family drama. So we're gonna, talk about the books I'm hoping that are possible contenders for my TBR. Again, this one, I'm 200 pages in. I put it down softy enough. I still want to finish it. I was actually enjoying it. This man goes to hell and he has to come out to save his family. Witchy vibes, again, in hell. I've just read Catabasis, definitely something I'm in the mood for, so I need to finish it. I also did read the first 30 pages. It doesn't count. It's not a slump. Very much is a cozy murder mystery, but yeah, I was just, tasting it. That's it. So in the first 30 pages, you're following this woman. She was a nun for like 30 years and she decides to leave, is it a frock for a nun? The dress, the headdress, whatever it is, behind because her novice who was sending her letters every week stopped sending any and she needs to figure out what happened to her. So she goes to Gull's Nest because in her last message she said, I believe every one of us at Gull's Nest is concealing some kind of secret. So someone there has to know something. They might even be the murderer. So it was starting good. I do think this would be a really good audiobook because British accent, right? Cozy seaside town, the accent would have been great, but I'm looking forward to that one. Let's just not talk about the 30 pages. So the other one is the Southern Book Club's Guide to Slaying Vampires. I have read 4.5 books by this author. 4 of them were 4-star and then one of them I couldn't finish, but apparently was written prior to the other one, so that's, But this one, ever since I got this, I have received the most varied mixed reviews ever. People either love it or hate it. I believe in him. I want to. So I'm going to try it. I'm excited for this for sure. I have not read a psychological thriller in forever because I'm going to be honest, the really popular ones, they don't really work for me, but I get sucked into the hype too. So I picked up this one, which is Kill for Me, Kill for You, and I will be hoping for the best. And then the last one, oh, actually, it's not the last one. I need to not forget, I have one more from the library, The Silent Companions. I have it for another week, so I probably should focus on that one soon, but this one is supposed to be like historical fiction gothic. This woman just got married and she's pregnant. Her husband dies in mysterious circumstances, and then the house is either haunted, something is happening there. So that's another option. And then last but not least, for the unofficial TBR, we have Seed. I was trying to find a horror book that would actually be scary, and I don't know if it's just me because I made someone, we used to live here, I made someone read We Used to Live Here, and she couldn't finish it because she was too scared. So maybe I'm not sensitive enough, although to be fair, there were a few creepy scenes here. But I was trying to find one that would actually be scary, and Seed was recommended, so I might try to read it like late at night kind of thing. But this one, this man he was a kid. He was being attacked by this demon creature, spirit, and then it starts happening again when he has a kid. So it's short, apparently it's a very quick read, and I'm hopeful. This could be, helping increase my numbers and hit my actual goal this year. To be fair, I haven't been listening to audiobooks, and I feel like that's really playing into the fact that I can't read as many as I need to. But it's still not a slump. Otherwise, I do still need to continue reorganizing my shelves because look at this. You can kind of, I've hidden most of it. Okay, if I zoom you in, you can't see. But I need to finish reorganizing my shelves. It's just been really slow because my knee. Last week, Chip made an attempt on my life and water on ceramic in the kitchen. So I survived, but my knee hurts so bad. Just standing up to do my hair, it was too much. So I'm going to do maybe little batches because again, 2 weeks, I have time. But yeah, I have to choose what to read, and honestly, I don't know what to pick yet, but I guess you're about to find out. So I have some good and some bad news. I did start another book. Did I need to? No, but I did. But it's going well, so it doesn't really matter. It was a risk, but it paid off. So The Silent Companions, I only have it for a few more days from the library, so I really wanted to try it. And it's going well. I'm 27% into it, and I'm actually invested, which, whew, it's a slower paced book, so it was risky, but I'm enjoying it. So as I mentioned, she got pregnant, her husband passes away while he's at his countryside estate, and she goes there after he dies, and people there don't really like her, and people in the small town actually are scared of the big house. She doesn't really know everything yet, but On the first couple of days, she started hearing this noise during the night, and then she finds out that there is this room that they can't open the door, yet the cat pushes it and it opens up. So she goes in there and she finds the first, because there's an S after companions, so I'm assuming there's going to be many, but you do have this silent companion, which is kind of a mix of a painting and a sculpture. They basically say that it's like someone came out of a painting and it looks really realistic, so it's kind of creepy. And it's giving me vibes of those little dolls that people used to have, I don't know why, a couple years ago. They freaked me out. We don't even see their faces, which I feel like the silent companions would be worse. But those, that's what I keep picturing, but with eyes. Freaks me out. So in general, actually, dolls, creepy story with dolls or paintings, I have a slight childhood trauma about it. It's really not that serious, but I think that this is going to actually work on me. I'm going to be really scared. So far I'm enjoying it though. So yeah, I keep saying so because I'm definitely a little creeped out, but that's working for me. So for the book haul now, do you mind whenever there's reflection in my glasses? I just never know if I should remove them or not. You tell me. So the next portion is sponsored by Heart of Art Book Club. They are a monthly book subscription that ships to Canada and US. So every first of the month, they come out with 6 new releases as their selection, and you pick whichever sounds the most appealing to you. And because it is their 3rd year anniversary, they came out with this exclusive anthology, horror anthology, called One Bad Night and Other Stories, which, first of all, have you seen this cover, this spine? More books need to come out with really bright ones like this. I think they're so fun. And look at this, gorgeous. So they work with 8 authors they've worked with before, including S.A. Barnes, which is what got me really excited. I read Dead Silence by her. So good. Creepy deep space horror. So I can't wait to actually try this one. And they let me pick 2 of their past selections to read also. The first one I've already read, but I needed to own this because I didn't. And it is A Drop of Corruption, which is the 2nd book after A Tainted Cup. They are murder mystery in a fantasy world. I feel like that combo works for me every time. But this time, you're following the assistant to Anna, who's probably my favorite character. She's so strange. She stays in a room wearing a blindfold, and she will figure out who murdered who. I really enjoy the characters and the world building in this one, so I would definitely recommend it. And the other one I have not read yet, but I'm very excited to, and it is You Weren't Meant to Be Human. And when I read the description, I knew I needed to own this because it says, alien meets midsummer in this chilling novel about an alien invasion in rural West Virginia. And there's just something about pregnancy and aliens, not in a nice barbarian kind of way, but the vibes were giving me like Bloodchild by Octavia Butler, which I love her. So when they say a deeply personal horror, a visceral statement about the lives of marginalized people in a hostile world, I just needed to read this, so can't wait to try that. So if you are interested, I'll put all the information in the description box. If you are from the US, you can use the coupon code EmilyFox to get your first copy for only $4. And I think it's time for me to start reorganizing it a little bit. I can do a little bit, and I'll be able to actually put these on my shelves. This one on the read side and the other 2 on the unread. Good news, I have finished my first book for the vlog, The Silent Companions, and I liked it. This was a 4-star for me. It was already returned to the library. I had like so few days to actually read this, but I liked it. I said historical fiction, gothic, which they tend to be slower paced, so it took me a little while. It didn't actually help me actually read more books for my reading challenge because I went to 5 books behind and I think I'm back to 4. So not a big deal. I enjoyed myself, which is what actually really matters, but I was creeped out a couple times. I've mentioned dolls, painting freaked me out, so it worked. I even like the ending, which can be really hard with horror in general, but slower paced, they tend to be more like less shocking. Obviously, they're usually like family secrets, gothic, right? And yeah, it worked. I enjoyed it. I might look at her other books. Again, it's more outside of my comfort zone. It's more like, sometimes an author, you're going to like everything by them. Sometimes it's just one of them that is more appealing. So I'll have to check. But if any of that sounds like your vibe, I would recommend it. I also like how, you know, the timeline, the storylines eventually start making sense. And yeah, 4-star. It was good. Now, confession. You can probably tell I didn't actually organize last time because life happened. I swear, okay? Life has a way. Basically, every time I get my period, my anemia gets so bad that I cannot function. But the good news is my knee's getting better. So we're going to do that now. And I'm also going to show you some fall recommendations. I was going to do a separate video on topic, but again, I'm swamped, I'm overwhelmed, and I might as well just sneak in a couple. Maybe next year I'll do like a proper one, but you're going to get the recommendations now because this is my read section. So we can do that now. Speaking of fall, though, I did want to share one purchase, a little haul too, because this summer I mentioned how Chunky, one of my cats, decided that he was going to helpfully declutter with me, and he broke a glass and a mug within the same week, which and it wasn't even on purpose. It was hard to be mad. He's just such a little idiot. I love him. And I think in the vlog he was sleeping on my chest when I was talking about it, because, had to publicly shame him. So recently he was in a section that was sponsored in a past video, and I made him wear a costume, Halloween costume. So he has repaid his debt, With that money, he was able to invest and he bought me a new mug, which, isn't it cute? It looks like a sweater, which of course, that's what I would want. I tried to look before, during the summer, but they had nothing cute. So I got this one. It's from Simon's. It was like $7.50 or something. So he spent all his money from all his hard work. Do not send kitty protective services against me. But yeah, he bought me a new mug. So all is well. He has repaid his debt. Let's get some recommendations going, because I want to still be helpful, do the things I was supposed to do, but on low energy. And after that, I'm going to read a second book, because I still have my pal over here. I want to make sure I'm going to read a couple good ones. I think we're not going to, finish the ones that are started. We're going to start a new one, the 7 Book Club's Guide to Slaying Vampires, because I want to know, okay? Too many people have been divided, telling me I'm going to love it, hate it. I need to know. I need to know. Like I said, this is going to be my 6th book by the author. One of them I didn't finish. So yeah, that's the plan for today. So this is my mystery thriller horror section of books that I have read. So I have a few that I can recommend quickly. I've mentioned it so many times, but Slewfoot, Revenge, Witchy, yes, Female Rage. Again, similar themes, but this one is like a little historical fiction too, since these young girls are pregnant, sent away in shame, and one of them gets her hand on a book of witchcraft. So you can imagine the mayhem. Same author, but this one is definitely fun horror, definitely very classic. I mean, you can tell with that cover. So her best friend might need an exorcism. The one I just read, this one is definitely very gory, but it does the job. It does the job. A billionaire tries to buy this island, this small town in, is it Scottish? Yes, Scotland. And yeah, things get very intense very quickly. This one is very short, and it's like, is she losing her mind or is she possessed? Yes. This one is definitely cozy. Think practical magic, witchy vibes. Loved. Booktube is just okay, so meh. If you like dark academia, but the strangest book you've ever read, Magical School, yes. I feel like everyone already knows Legends and Lattes. Obviously, this one is similar kind of vibes. I'm realizing this is on the wrong pile. This is fantasy. Where is it there? This is harder than I thought. I'm just not used to where the books are now. But hopefully I gave you a little bit of an idea of what you can pick up. I'm trying not to give you the most obvious things, like Babel for like dark academia, obviously. So yeah, reminded me that If We Were Villains, that everyone probably knows, but good dark academia. Well, never mind. I don't know. Listen, I started this book and I was like, oh, I understand now why people had issues with it. In the intro, well, there's an author's note, and he's kind of explaining how this is like basically the same world as my best friend's Exorcism, which I literally just showed you, that I liked. But that one book was from the point of view of teenagers, so adults are like, they're losers because they're adults, and it works with the tone of the book, which is kind of funny in horror. And again, this is similar tone, and he's saying that this one is about basically his mother, and how I need to have an official spot when I record in this room because it drives me nuts. I need both of my hands so I can talk to you about the freaking Post-its. Anyway, so he was making fun of his mom a little bit when he was a kid, thinking she's a stay-at-home mom, blah, blah, blah. Didn't think her rules made sense, And the book is also about vampires, and he's talking about how they're like the first type of like serial killer, like Ted Bundy. And basically the serial killers are stripped of things that make us human. So they have no friends, no family, no roots, no children. All they have is hunger. So in the book, he uses a man like that against women whose lives are shaped by their endless responsibilities. So basically Dracula versus his mother. And he ends by saying, as you'll see, it's not a fair fight, hopefully, for Dracula. So, it's meant to be a little funny. So that's why at first I was like, okay, I understand people just didn't read that part. You don't necessarily realize the tone. And I don't know if it's just me that's not in the mood to read this or what, but I'm kind of just, I don't know, I might soft DNF it for now, which is like making things worse. I'm supposed to finish more books. That's the point of this vlog, but I've decided to not stress myself. I'm just gonna, you know, go with the flow, blah, blah, blah. So I'm at page like 86, 87. So I requested the audiobook from my library. I'm hoping I'm gonna get it. It says available soon. So I'm hoping that I might be able to finish it as an audiobook this week. Sometimes it just helps you push through, you know, a little part. But yeah, I'm kind of stuck because she's being so, I know it's set in 88, I understand, stay-at-home mom and everything, but she's just so naive, and I'm finding myself so frustrated. Like at one point her husband decides that his mother is not doing well, so she's gonna move in with them. But he's already like working so many hours, he's never home, so he decided, like he just told her it was happening. So he basically is giving her more work without even discussing it with her. Like, I understand, again, it's his character, but like, I am just so annoyed. And like, the neighbor, again, it's not really a spoiler, it's so early. The neighbor clearly is a vampire, okay? And he's very charming, but he invites her inside his home and he's like, oh, I need your help. The same way, you know, Ted Bundy would ask women for help, which I feel like nowadays you teach children, like, a grown man will never need your help. And like, same thing for women, like, do not go into his home, obviously. Anyway, he locks the door behind them and she's like, oh, I'm being so selfish. Girl, please. Again, I understand it's the setting of the book, but like, it's pissing me off so much, so I have to put it down. So it might make things harder for this child. It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. So I'm going to continue it as an audiobook as soon as I get it. But for now, for my own sanity, I'm going to pick something else. So I think I'm going to grab Seed, because that one is like horror. And I think maybe that's, it is shorter. So, I mean, it's not the reason I'm picking it up, but I need something dark. I feel like the sun has been going down so early and I'm craving, not violence, but you know what I mean. So yeah, I'm like checking, was there anything suspicious in my pile? This is my pile right now. The red one was an ebook, so whatever, which that's from the cats. Okay, when they were babies. For now, okay? We're gonna grab this one. I think this is gonna be, oh, I should. But we're gonna try this one first, because I need a winner. I finished the book. I was, is this better? Oh my god, this is dark. There you go. So, I finished the book. I was going to update you yesterday, but I just kept reading. I couldn't stop. I have so many feelings and opinions, mixed feelings. I think it's a good book. I kind of hated it because listen, I am not someone that looks up trigger warnings. I rarely feel affected by the content, but this was more gruesome than I expected. So look it up if you have any sensitivities, because yeah, it's really short. Turns out it was shorter than I thought, because the ending has like another book. So it's like 220 something pages. I will say, I feel like just the last book I was complaining about the husband. So many books have the worst husbands ever. Like Jack, the main character, who was hunted by this demon creature, whatever, when he was a kid, ran away. And it starts happening again with his daughter, Charlie. That's the name of my cat, but Charlotte. Like, she's 6 and she's scared of her closet. Okay, cool, normal. But then things get weirder and weirder, like sounds in the walls, and like she may have said horrible stuff to other people, like things escalating. I would lose it. But mostly, like I was saying, Jack, the father, has to be one of my most hated characters of all time now, because the rage I felt throughout the book. I'm trying to keep this spoiler free. I don't think much in here would be a spoiler, because you have to experience it to feel the feelings. Things start happening, obviously. The kid, you know, things are weird. They have their car accident, and like the kid at first, you're like, okay, is she okay? Does she have PTSD? Like, what's going on? And the mother is obviously anxious about the whole situation, and she comes to him, and he has never told her about the situation he went through. And he just spends the whole book gaslighting the crap out of her. Like denying that, you know, not wanting to tell her what happened, and then making her feel crazy. And like, if there are other people, he's acting like she's crazy, which pisses me off. I was so done with him. Like, following the story through him, the rage I felt. So yeah, I'm not going to tell you how it ends, but eventually it ends. and I think it was good. But again, that rage plus the gruesomeness of things, I wasn't prepared for. Let me just quickly check my post-its. I'm not putting you back there, okay? We're just gonna do this old school. Oh yeah, Amy, his wife, who left everything behind for, anyway, again, freaking Jack. So she likes to reread Les Miserables, which I thought, again, I love when books mention other books, I can have comments, but I've never read it. It's a French classic. It is so thick because they were paid per word, right? Anyway, I don't understand wanting to read this. I don't remember, 18 times. There you go. Are you serious? Are you okay? That can't be good. Like that, it can't, first off, it can't be that good. And also you can't be doing well if you're reading the same book, the same book 18 times. That's, yeah. Oh, yeah, creepy things happening. Trying to see if there's anything else I could mention that isn't a spoiler, because those are just the things that keep happening. Because at first you don't know, right? Is it PTSD? Is something actually haunting you? Is it haunting you or your child? What's going to happen next? Like, what are the steps? And like one of the things that he does, which again, I don't think that's a spoiler, is that he wants to try and figure out what happened, because, you know, he left his whole family when he was 14, moved different state, and he never found out what happened afterwards. He just left. So yeah, that's one of the things that I'm not repeating that. When I'm, oh my God. Yeah, the child saying creepy stuff, that always gets to me. Him just lying again. I freaking hate Jack. I don't even want to read those post-its. I just, the anger I've been feeling the last 2 days. So Jack, I hate you. And this whole situation was very creepy. So if you like to actually be scared, there were definitely a few moments, but the ending was like much quicker. Like, because I thought I had more pages, okay? Because the whole book I think is like 240, but like there were 20 pages that weren't. So like the ending for me, it appears so quickly. I was like, no, I was not ready for this. So yeah. I'm gonna give it 4, but it's reluctant. I kind of hated it, okay? I might feel differently in a few days, but right now I kind of hate it. So, yeah. I double-checked for the audiobook for the book club book, and I thought I was first in line, but now it says I'm second, and I'm so confused, but it still says available soon, so I might have to wait. So we're gonna read something else. Actually, you know what? I'm gonna be good. Right now I'm gonna try Lost Gods again, and I'm gonna see. Because sometimes you put a book down like I just did because, you know, it's not the mood you're in right now. It happens, but sometimes there was a reason and you just don't want to admit it to yourself, or like, we'll see. I just don't want it to be on like my pile of shame for years. So let's try it right now. Hey, long talk, no speak. No. Long time no speak. Last time I was at chapter 35. I'm now at chapter 36. I think I'm ready to admit that I'm bored. So, listen, I don't know how you managed to make hell sound boring. Listen, again, I'm going to keep this somewhat vague because we're halfway through, not even, the book. But that man, you know, went to hell, was killed, and he wants to come back to save his fiance and kid. She's pregnant. And in hell, the portion I'm at, he's basically like gladiator style trying to survive. Like there's a gladiator thing for entertainment happening, and somehow I'm bored. Come on, that's not a good sign. So I think I'm ready to just give up on it. So officially I'm removing the bookmark and I'm giving up on it. That is crazy because like I really love sleuthing. I just mentioned it earlier in my recommendation, and like the pictures, let me show you. Like, look at the creepy stuff. Okay? Like, creepy. But I can't do it. So I think I'm officially giving up on it. I will, however, count it because I don't usually count the books that I DNF unless I have like strong opinions on them. Or again, I read 200 pages, so 219. So I'm counting it. Once in a while I do it. So, because it's so shocking to me that I don't like this. So I guess I'm at 3.5 done. We're not counting book club one until, you know, I actually make a decision. And even then, If I don't finish it, it's not going to count. Anyway, I'm trying to catch up. I guess I'm technically going quickly now. You gotta laugh at the fact that it's messy, okay? So giving up on that one, I have to go and choose another one. Let's do that now because I might start it. So this one is on pause. The 2 read. 3 still on pause because I think I'm gonna go with this one because I need to know, do I agree that it's supposed to be like The Silent Patient and Gone Girl? That sounds like the weirdest mix, so let's find out. I think I realized why I've been so reticent about reorganizing my shelves. It's not laziness. It never is, okay? Laziness. But it's because it doesn't work. You can see these books don't fit. Like these, the classics, they're short enough, sure. But none of these work either. None of these work. And it's frustrating. So I think I just have to admit to myself, I have to remove that extra shelf. The thing is, if I do it for one, I have to do it for all of them. And I need to just put this one like somewhere where it makes more sense. So I just like the look of really full shelves, which I could do with the way it used to be, but I can't do it that way. And like I can do it for these because the size works, but it doesn't work for this. And I think that's the reason I've been avoiding it, because I'm just really overwhelmed. I don't have the energy, okay? I've been mentioning anemia. Bending down to reorganizing my shelves is hell. So I think I might just have to admit to myself, I have to pause this whole project until I feel good and remove the shelf. Like instead of having 2, I would have 1. And one of them would be weirdly tall, I guess. But I mean, that's how it is usually, right? Before I added the 2 extra shelves, it wasn't like this. And I like the look of this, but it doesn't work at the top, so it's okay. I'm discouraged. I feel like I have this pressure. I put myself this pressure to like always succeed in my vlogs because, you know, gotta be motivating, but it's okay to just admit defeat too. Like life is not perfect, and like, do you see that the wood, I didn't put any thick primer and I put just 1 layer of paint and you can see the wood coming out. I need to add another layer. It's just, yeah. Okay, I feel better laying down a little bit because my head, but yeah, I think I just have to admit defeat. The shelves, the books have won against me this time, but you see better this way. Like it really works for this. You can't move the middle one. That's the big problem with the Billy bookshelves. So you can only add or remove the rest, which I like the look of filled shelves like this. And it works really well for this portion, but it doesn't work for the top with the size of the books that I have. So it's just that if I do it for one, I have to do it for everything. Otherwise it looks bad. So I'm gonna have to test that. The cats are trying to come in. Chunky! Chunky! Most people don't notice he has thumbs too, because all black paws. Let me let him in. Can't show you outside though. Chunky! Are you coming here to help me? You knew I was struggling. Come here. There's Charlie. Hi, baby. You were in a horror book. It was really terrifying. Chunk. Instead of the shelves, you could be... Hello. Okay. Not this side. It's also not done. But I'm gonna do... But see, I need to do it on this side too. Right? Because you can see everything otherwise. Chunka, 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 chunk. Thank you for the new mug. Claudia. Oh God, she's gonna go and fix it. Girl. Do you see the mess I've made? Do you have opinions? Charlie, always nice. Someone has to be. So there are 3 of you in this room. One of you has to cuddle me. That's the law. Which, do you know how much of a creep I sound around these cats? Because they only like to cuddle me in the morning. Okay? Do you know how annoying that is? Because that's when I'm the most productive. I'm busy. I have things to do. And no, that's the moment. I literally have to sit down on the couch for a while every morning so they can all come one by one, get their cuddles. At night, evening when I'm reading, watching TV, nope, they don't want to. I made a mistake. I made it worse. I made the mistake of one time giving them a little before bed. Now they wait for me to go to bed. They're excited for me to leave. So if I make the mistake of like putting on my glasses, like if I'm reading, putting them back on to go pee, they all lose their shit. They want me to go to bed. So yeah, they don't cuddle me at night. So they're rude. They just like me in the morning. That's why I like to joke that I'm the can opener. But yeah, they make me sound creepy because I'm like, I pay all the bills. There are so many of you in this house. There are 4 of you. One of you has to sacrifice himself and cuddle me because... Chunk, are you sacrificing yourself? See how happy he is to be on my lap. I love you. Look at these paws. These thumbs. Thank you for the mug. I know you owed it to me, but you know, you worked hard for it, so I appreciate it. He's like, girl, put me down. I am so over you. He's so over it. Okay, you can leave. I'm gonna go cry in the shower and then read my next book. It's just one of those weeks, one of those years. Can I be honest? 2025 has not, I mean, the last 5 years have not been my... So, but I'm reading, okay? We've been reading a couple, so let's keep going. Are you a little gargoyle? That's what you look like. Now that I'm ready to leave, that's when you want to cuddle? You too? And you can see I tried to protect my chair. They don't care. There's a cat tree. But no, the chair it is. That's why there's like 10 blankets on them. But for once, I'm not watching anything alone. Can you hear him? Chip, Charlie, and like I said, Claudia's over there. Can't see her. But it was good. The last one. The final one. I was doing my skincare, trying to think about how I'm going to review this book because you can see I have opinions, but I'm torn about how I'm going to rate this book because while I overall enjoyed it, I swear like 4 or 5 times I almost put it down because I felt like the author was clearly making choices in order to advance the story, and I feel like the characters weren't always consistent. They didn't always ring true. They would like flip-flop. I'm keeping this vague, but I can try and spoil some in the comment section. But like, you know, especially if you're going to compare this to Gone Girl, I expect certain things. And obviously the author isn't the one that chose to be compared to anything, but I'm just saying, Gillian Flynn would never. With that said, I still found it very readable. I enjoyed it, even though, again, certain things definitely bothered me. And I'm torn if I'm going to round it down to a 3 or round it up to a 4. Probably round it up because, again, it was fun. Isn't perfect? No. But I feel like the bar for psychological thrillers in my head is lower than, like, I don't know, like a fantasy book or something. And being fun is part of the reason I read them. Like, I want them to keep me on my toes. So I feel like sometimes the twist will happen and you're like, okay, it's a bit much. I feel like a while ago, I would read some of the popular ones and it was like 10 twists. So it's like, yeah, of course I didn't see it coming. At the end, you're not following the same story, like at all. So keeping that in mind, I think I'm going to round it up to a 4. I feel like the only other reviews I can really include without spoiling are like very small things. Like, for example, there is a man, the story starts you from this woman and she's attacked by this man who will become the Blue Eye Killer, and he uses chloroform on her. And like, this book is recent, so that's why I can't excuse it. Isn't it like known now that chloroform doesn't work like in the movies? Like, it doesn't work. It takes like minutes to actually put you to sleep, not instantly like it does in all of these books and movies. So, like, the author should know, because, again, is it, like, 2022 or something? Like, it's a recent book, 2023. So, like, you should know. Like, it's an easy Google search. Like, You don't have to specify what he's using if you don't know what would work, like, you know? But chloroform, which is mentioned multiple times in the book, it doesn't work like that, at least. So yeah, a little thing, but still. The writing in general was better than like Frida McFadden. I'm using her as an example because frankly it was the worst writing I've ever read. I don't care about the lore that she's supposed to be a doctor. I don't care. She can't write. But one example that was really bad in my opinion that made me laugh. Whoop, the post-it is falling. I feel like I don't see writing like this in anything but these kind of books, which is why it stands out to me. And I guess people call it like fan fiction kind of writing. Anyway, are you prepared? I can't even keep it together. An anxious dread frozen in her pale brown eyes, like a mosquito imprisoned for all time in a bead of amber. Jurassic Park much? Anyway, very unserious, but yeah, they always have like very specific eye color descriptions, and it makes me giggle. Okay, sue me. I think everything else is going to be considered a spoiler. I will say, because I'm still mad about Jack, the husband, one of them in here, was not useless. I feel the need to specify because too many, like 2 in this one vlog, that I feel like it's really common for the trope where the kid is either like possessed, haunted, or whatever, that the husband is really useless. And like, I'm remembering like The Push, for example. I remember mentioning that in my review and people were like, oh, but you know, she's the problem, blah, blah. I was like, yes, maybe, because she's the only active parent. Like, he's totally okay leaving the woman that might be unstable with their child, knowing that she hates the child because they might be possessed, like, or evil. Like, how does that make it better? It's not. Anyway, Jack was present, but he was a piece of caca. But let's go back to Kill for Me, Kill for You. Yeah, my biggest issue is that I feel like the characters were not acting like themselves consistently, and whenever it was convenient for the author, he would flip-flop. That's all I can say without spoiling things, but it was interesting. It was entertaining. I will forever laugh, though, that it was compared to The Silent Patient, which I hated, and Gone Girl, which I loved. I see why, not that I've read the book, but no. But again, I know the author had no say. It's marketing. I get it, but don't. I mean, no one should focus on that when you pick up a book, but we do. Again, marketing. Now that the frustration is out, I don't even remember how many books I've read. 1, 2, 3. If we count Lost God, that's the 4th one that I've finished. And then I'm still waiting, by the way, for the audiobook. I really thought it was going to be quick because they have multiple copies, and like when they say available soon, it's less than 2 weeks. So it's been what, a week at this point? Like, anyway, I only have like a day and a half left to read my last book. I have went through, actually, I did good. I went through all the books. I tried all the books that I wanted to, because this is my last official one for my TBR, and I have read the first 2 chapters. I sampled it, okay? I wasn't kidding. Can you imagine? Listen, when I do these things, it's to entertain myself when I edit, okay? Hopefully you do enjoy them, but making myself laugh is why I do this. So yeah, I was at chapter 3. I had read the first 2 chapters, which was the first, I think, 30 pages. Freaking deckled pages. Yeah, like 30 something, whatever pages. And so far, I put it down, okay? Because it was slow paced and I didn't know if it was what I was craving. But now that I've been traumatized by this one and Seed, I'm ready for the coziness. So this is actually perfect. So I'm very happy that I didn't, force myself to read it when I wasn't in the mood for it. So now that I am, I'm going to read it. And yeah, I'm probably not going to have time to finish it, but I'm going to give you a good first impression at least, which better than nothing. And I'll give you the full review in my wrap up. So it's all good. I made some progress. I made it to chapter 7. So I'm like 100 pages into the book. I read a little bit more than I was planning because this morning someone decided to be very cuddly. I can't joke all the time that she's mean because she's not. She's sweet. She's just very particular. So obviously by law, I wasn't allowed to move. So I read a few more pages. Unfortunately, it means that the vlog is going to be late, but that's okay. I do need to stop it here because, contractually obligated. But it's okay. I can give you my first impression and it's positive. Waiting was the right call. I am really enjoying the coziness of it. As the nun has left the monastery to investigate, she gets displaced. She starts asking questions, and then someone else is murdered. Someone else that lives in that place, Gull's Nest. And she's kind of being nosy, asking a lot of questions as the detective is trying to do his work. And they have great like chemistry, not like relationship chemistry, but like just as like he doesn't want her to work because she's not supposed, she's, you know, a possible murderer suspect. Basically, I like her, I like the writing, I like the coziness, and I think this is going to become a cozy murder mystery series. And I would be interested, I mean, I'm 100 pages in the first book, but it shows that it's, you know, exactly what I'm craving right now. So yeah, I think it's going to be like a locked room murder mystery where like multiple people start dying, which I'm all for. Hopefully not my favorite characters dying. I mean, she can't die, and she's my favorite character, so we're fine. I didn't check how many books I have read, which was literally the point of this vlog, but I'll put it on the screen as I'm editing. Thank you, future Emily. But I think I did well. I definitely made some progress. I know I didn't catch up to the ultimate number, but I might be only like 2-3 books behind now because I was at 4 or 5, right? For a moment there, it was 5, but I made some progress, and I think that I might be able to catch up if I do one more vlog like this, maybe in November, because right now I need to read The Raven Scholar, and then I need to do my Read It and Haul It for the month. So in November, I think I'll dedicate another maybe 2 weeks, if you like, longer vlogs, more books to go through. And I'll try to catch up to my reading challenge so I can actually hit it this year, because it's getting a little close. I hope you enjoyed it. I'll put more videos on the screen that are like mystery thrillers if you want more recommendations. And I will go and edit this. Bye.